fake Monday.
Feels like Friday. How do we get here?
Well, that would be nice, but it is not. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Apple has a month to figure it
Figure it
out.
out.
They
Yep.
had a bad weekend.
I've had a bad year.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, for a company making whatever, 100 and something billion dollars a quarter, whatever the heck it is. Yeah, some interesting problems. But,
Yes.
they can coast for a long time. Inertia is a wonderful thing.
It is.
And they have, especially with that height or whatever. And obviously, they still have a very loyal user base, but they're big, like, billions strong, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, this is the conversation we would have had about Microsoft, 15 years ago, where it's like, yep, they're on the way out. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No. I mean, so if they don't make the changes that the EU has just said, they have to pay. I think it's a $500 million fine.
Hmm. Hmm.
But what if they're making $1 billion a month? Like, I mean,
Yeah, $1 billion a month is way more than that. And I saw this figure that I've seen this figure twice, and both times I think to myself, mathematically, this is impossible, but this is the number. Since Tim Cook took over as CEO of Apple, that company's value has increased by $500 million every single day.
oof.
$500 million. Think about that. Now try to do the math, because I still haven't, I'm afraid to, but I've seen it twice. And yikes. So look, we've all heard, there's all these pat sayings: the bigger they are, the harder they fall, whatever. But, the Rome wasn't built in a day. Corollary is Rome also did not fall in a day. And
Mm-hmm.
Rome had plenty of chances to rebound. In fact, I think they did actually a couple times before they actually fell. Microsoft found a new path. Intel did not. So we have these two examples, of many that we could use to say, like, these are possible outcomes for this dominant company. We'll see. People, it's very easy to be critical. But they haven't had a breakthrough product in whatever number of years. It's like, yeah, but God, you don't have a run like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is an impossible bar to live up to for anybody, for any company. It was an impossible achievement to even, no one could have predicted that.
Why does that hand keep going back there? Just back to pat myself on the back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in June, which is end of this month, so they've got
2 weeks, I think. Right?
2 weeks for WWDC. They're going to unveil, apparently, according to Bloomberg, Solarium or something like that is their new
Mm-hmm.
design UI overhaul. Which,
yeah, iOS 7 take 2.
I mean, it's fine today.
It's fine. I sometimes little things matter, though. When they went to iOS 7, their kind of, what was that faux natural look? The skeuomorphic UI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was really tired by that point. This time, it's a slightly different thing, but Google is doing this with Material 3 Expressive, or whatever it's called, the UI for Android. Samsung is doing it on their own with One UI 7 right now, which is one of the reasons I'm testing this Galaxy S25 Plus device. And I look, it's functionally super familiar, right? But there's something to it, like these sometimes little UI tweaks, UX tweaks, whatever you want to call them, can make a big difference.
I think there's another motive.
That was hand waving. Look over here. Look over here.
Well, we know how this works, right?
Yeah.
This OS will only support certain generations of phones. So they can come out and say, look, if we update the UI, maybe it's rounder icons, who knows what they're going to do here. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody with a certain generation and older phone will no longer get this UI, and that might be more aggressive and say, like, look, this is new generation stuff, we're not going back that far. And so then every time those people see the pretty little commercials, they're going to be like, look, I don't have that UI. Maybe it's better. Maybe I should update my phone.
Not for the first time. I'll just point out that you're far too cynical for your age. And Uh, I mean, yes, that's always a calculation, right? I mean, Apple on the one hand has done a terrific job of supporting older devices compared to say other platforms. I mean, it's starting to change, right? Google,
Hmm.
especially with Android, has made big changes to the support life cycle, et cetera. Samsung has kind of jumped on board. I mean, other companies have too. So, but to me, that's always been fairly impressive. It's also seems vaguely unofficial. Like I don't know that you could go to a page the day that you bought your new iPhone, whatever number, and it would say you're going to get this, years. Like I think it could go back and forth, right, depending on
Yeah.
what's going on at the time. So I, but phones are so powerful. I have a hard time believing that round icons or whatever this thing is gonna is a hardware compatibility issue. But is it enough to cause some bump in upgrades? Did they get a bump from Apple Intelligence? I mean, Apple claimed many times last year, late last year especially, that Apple Intelligence was like the primary driver, of
Hmm.
upgrades. And I'm like, yeah, I don't, so was it? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I'm happy to put Google I/O and build behind me, although I never will be able to really, and
No.
then move on to WWDC, I guess, for 2 seconds. But I don't know. With a lot of existential problems here in our industry for companies that are so freaking dominant right now. There's this like stupidly wealthy and more powerful than most nation states. I don't know. It's a bizarre, it's just a bizarre world we live in right now.
There's nothing to come back from that.